This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
Welcome to the Rockstar Dad Show, everybody. My name is Jaret, and Gary is here.
Yo.
And, hey, buddy. And, thank you, everybody, for sticking with us through a month of reruns. Thank you to producer Jack for putting that together for us and keeping the show going. And he's doing a great job.
Unfortunately, he didn't just to get to put together a month of reruns, though. Like, for the first few weeks, it's like, and we're going to have to do it again. And we're going to have to do it again. So he's kind of having to do it on the fly.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We meant well, but man, it got busy, And so May was a busy month for me with the country band. And then, we had the Bowling for Soup anniversary shows, which were a blast.
Yeah, man, those were really, really, really fun.
Yeah. And then I left straight after that to go on vacation. And then I went straight from vacation to Europe with Bowling for Soup. And there we had, we did Italy and we did the UK, we did Ireland, came home. And then I had the COVID, the COVID-19. And then I had country shows, and then we just did a fly show, and then it was 4th of July. I am exhausted.
So many social events, so little time.
Yeah, I am just exhausted. I need a break from fun.
Well, we just flew to South Carolina for a 4th of July event show out there. And like, I could just see, like, we've been friends for a while. I know you pretty well. Like, you can just see that you're exhausted.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. I was not hanging out, like we got to the hotel or whatever. I'm just like, good night.
Yeah.
We had a long travel day though, man. We did that thing where we got on the plane to go, and luckily they let us off because basically what was broken was the air conditioner, and it's 103 in Texas right now. And so I guess when it gets to a certain heat, they pull back up and let you off. So they pull back up. We got on the plane, they back out, then they pull us back up. And after a few minutes, let us off the plane. But then they just do that thing for 3.5 hours where they just keep delaying us 30 minutes. So we couldn't go eat or, go do anything.
That was the most frustrating part of it. Like we travel a lot. And I say we've been really, really lucky. And, I'm going to knock on wood while I'm saying this, but like, we don't have that many canceled flights or lost luggage or lost gear. We've really, really lucked out over the years and not had many of those horrible experiences. And the delay we had the other day wasn't a horrible experience either. Like, we were at a nice airport, it was air conditioned. We could have been in way worse situations, and we have been, but it was just frustrating with the it ended up being like a 5.5 hour delay, but they just kept on doing, like you said, hey, we don't really know anything yet. Stay close to the gate. We're going to let you know in like 20 minutes. So you couldn't go get dinner. You couldn't go get anything. And just for 5.5 hours, every 20 minutes going, hey, stay close.
Yeah. Yeah. A little frustrating. And, that there was just a long day. And then, but plus like, so we never really got to have we didn't really ever like eat a meal that day. Like, it was like, in between, okay, I'm going to go grab this sandwich real quick. And eat it standing here, waiting for the plane, And but anyway, that was a long day. But yeah, that show was great. I want to thank everybody in Lawrence, South Carolina, who came out to that show. That was one of my favorite Freedom Fests of all time.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really fun.
They got treated really, really well, and But I think question on everybody's mind is Chris Burney, and so we can talk a little bit about what's going on. If you guys have been keeping up with us, he did end up having to fly home from Europe. He didn't get to play any of those shows. He has got some medical stuff happening. It is fucking with his mobility. And so pretty rough travel day getting there, pretty rough travel day, him getting home. But the thing is that he's being cared for by the best people that are available, and he's happy, and he's in good hands. And so that's really all we know right now, is that he is not, nothing critical, and he's going to be fine. We just do not know exactly when he'll be able to tour again. And that is completely up to him. So the band is carrying on and doing our thing with his blessing. We will not be doing a sub, no guest guitar players or anything like that, because you can't replace a legend, and not even temporarily. You can't do it, And so we are going to continue on, and as a 3-piece, and hopefully get him back up on stage as soon as possible.
Yeah. And I think, like, just something to add, you're saying how he's getting taken care of, but like he's also in good spirits.
Yes. Yeah. He's happy and texting and joking. And, I think some of what he's getting taken care of has been bothering him for a while, and he's been nervous and scared. And the fact that it's just that he's kind of just back to Goofy Chris.
Yeah.
And that's, and we can see that, as you said, you can tell when I'm tired. You can tell when I've overdone it. And, we could tell that something was going on. And so we can't, again, we're not going to get any specifics with anything from us, because it's not our place. He's asked for privacy in the things that he's dealing with. And so, but you can follow him on Instagram. He's dropping photos and hints and shit.
Yeah. Photos and hints. And, while he is getting taken care of and in good spirits, he still welcomes well wishes and, good vibes and all that.
Yeah. Thank you to the fan page, by the way, for putting together the really nice video of everybody just sending him well wishes and stuff. And of course we're all in touch with him, and the crew are all in touch with him, and it's, you miss him, it's that's the thing, right? Is, I've talked about this, and I haven't talked about it on the show, obviously, but play our first show ever without Chris. We had just turned 30, so 30 years of playing shows, and he's been right there on the right side of the stage the entire time. And so, our very first one was a festival in Italy in front of 10,000 people. And then our second was in front of 100,000 people at Download, and he's just not there. It really, I think I was just firing on adrenaline and just necessity, and just like worry and all of those things. And then we got to the last show in Belfast, and it hit me. And there's a couple of times where I kind of got emotional, just during random parts of the show. And it just, it's strange not having him in the dressing room, and it's weird. But
yeah, I mean, he's a presence, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, without him there, there's just that presence that's missing.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, even when he's not feeling all that great, he still like has his, the 4 or 5 things that he says throughout the day that are fucking hilarious. And, and you're just, you miss the guy. But anyway, that's that. He is, again, we will be doing at least the first leg of this tour, which by the time this comes out, I will have announced that. But the first leg of this tour without him, we hope he can get back. But again, he has no pressure being put on him from the band, from management, from the fans, nothing. He is just, which I think is a big relief to him too. It was a big thing. He felt like he was letting us down. And then once he realized that he wasn't, and, we were like, dude, all we care about your health. I think that was a big burden off of his shoulders too. And because he certainly, this is our life. We've done this more than half of our lives easily now. I mean, that percentage just keeps going up. So, hey, later on in the show, Nate Young from the band Anne Berlin is here. And I mean, that band, it's a crazy story, because they've been through a lot, but they keep putting out great songs. And he's a restaurant owner and a father of 3
And a cool dude.
and a really, really cool dude. Like where I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I want to hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
When we did the interview. But so that's coming up later in the show. Right now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more items for you guys. First of all, y'all listen to this. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show, right here on Adobe Radio, every single Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, again on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then just right after that, almost like 2 hours after that, every podcast place that you can think of, we're there. And so that's that. So, I like summer because I get to see all the kid movies, but this family of mine has been watching these goddamn movies without me.
That's not cool.
No. So they saw If, which I'm excited to see, new Ryan Reynolds movie. Oh, from the mind of Jim from The Office.
I say that's not like cool, like it doesn't happen to me too. It does. Sometimes it happens out of necessity.
Yes.
Whenever we got home from this last European trip, I immediately went to a 6-day-long baseball tournament with Tyler and my family. Tyler was playing in it, of course. And, on the 5th day of standing out in the heat, Mia had enough. And so my mom ended up taking her to go see If also without us.
Right. And did she like it?
Oh, she loved it. But that was on like one of the lists. Like while we were in Europe, Mia was like, when you get home, can we go see If? And can we go see Inside Out 2? And, there's a list. I'm like, of course we can. But
yeah,
we'll go see If again. She'll see it again. I'll see it for the first time.
So this Everett is seeing Inside Out 2 right now. He wanted his babysitter to take him. He didn't need a babysitter today. He was just like, no, I want her to take me. And we're like, why is that? Is it because he gets extra shit there? Like he gets the candy and the milkshake?
Yeah.
Is that could be what it is, but I'll know if she brings him home sick. Oh man, how was your 4th of July?
Dude, 4th of July was good. We had just got back from South Carolina, a little tired. I did get home and take a quick nap on the way home from the airport. And while we were in South Carolina, I kept on asking Anik, hey, what's our plan? What are we doing? What's the plan? What are we doing? And she never really told me, not much. And I'd offered, hey, her sister may be coming over. And I said, if you want, I'll cook burgers or something, or we can just order stuff or whatever, right? But every time I asked, even on the car ride home, I was like, what's our plan? I don't know. We don't know what the plan is. Okay, well, I'm starving. I'm going to pick up some food on the way home and eat something whenever we get home. So do that. And then I take a quick nap, like an hour, maybe 45-minute or an hour nap. And she's like, okay, are you going to get up and cook burgers because they're going to be here at 6? And I'm like, I thought we didn't have a freaking plan. I wouldn't have eaten on the way home had I known I was going to be cooking. Anyways. But Anik's sister and her family came over. We hung out in my mom's pool. I cooked burgers. Tyler cooked hot dogs. We went and saw fireworks. It was a great day.
Sounds like a good day. What did your city have their fireworks?
Yeah, they have. We always do ours on the 4th. So if it's a Tuesday, we do them on Tuesday, which is kind of cool because a lot of other cities always do it on the Saturday or the Friday. So, if you want to have multiple different family events, you go do those on whatever the weekend is. And our city actually does it on the 4th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because we did it Monday. And then, so I had that 4th of July thing Monday. And then, yeah, man, God, it's been busy. And then we flew and then got home. And, but yesterday we just hung out in the pool with friends. And Casey ordered barbecue and it was
Where
delicious.
from?
We got it from Rudy's.
Okay, that's good.
Normally we go Tinder, but I think it was Ease of Rudy's that.
Sure.
But it was good. It's delicious, But they have that jalapeno cheese sausage that my father-in-law actually makes at his. He actually works at a sausage factory. He really does. Freaking sausage factory. And so yeah, Syracuse makes that sausage at the Rudy's or whatever. So he actually created that recipe. So he's always proud.
Do y'all get the turkey at Rudy's?
Yes.
So years ago, we were doing something in Austin, and we went with Swin, and we all went to Rudy's. And I'm a Texas guy, right? Like, turkey is not even on my radar for barbecue, and this is 20 years ago. But like, that's the first time I ever had turkey at a barbecue place at Rudy's, and I'm like, holy shit, this is better than the rest of their stuff here.
Yeah,
you know, like their smoked turkey is awesome.
Well, I am a turkey guy, which pisses me off because turkey's getting to be expensive, I guess. So a lot of the barbecue places are taking it off their menu, and that's my jam. Like Dickie's took it off, and but I mean, even some of the really real places too, and but most of the time they have like chicken or whatever. I mean, I like the other stuff, okay, but it's just I've just always been more of like a chicken turkey guy, and but it's all delicious.
Yeah, I remember like whenever I was a little kid going out to a Mexican food restaurant with my whole family, aunts and uncles and everything. And one of my uncles is a farmer, and he mainly is like a West Texas cotton farmer, right? But he also has cattle and stuff. And we were at this restaurant, and I ordered the chicken fajitas. I'm like 7 or 8,
Yeah.
And he's like, "What did you order?" And I go, "Chicken fajitas." He goes, "We're a beef family, we're beef farmers." We and I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know." All right.
That's so funny. Yeah, like when you're a little kid, so you're just like, yeah. I mean, I enjoy chicken.
Yeah, well,
I mean, chicken fajitas are delicious.
Yeah, well, they are, but no, you got to get the beef.
Got to get the beef. The problem with beef, like all restaurants can pretty much do chicken fajitas. I think beef fajitas are hit or miss. Because you can't, because you can fuck up steak.
Oh yeah. That's what I think. Steak's usually not fajitas though, because you're right. There's places that just ruin that. But like steak is a safer bet, because some places just char a chicken to where it's dry and there's no good. It's just dry. I don't know. Places overcook chicken.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But damn it, fajitas sound good. I might get that. Oh man, what I love is that there's a population on the planet whose first exposure was to fajitas was Chili's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that. That's the first fajitas some people on the planet have ever had.
That is funny, but at the same time, I've had worse fajitas than the Chili's.
They're delicious. Sure.
We just did this South Carolina run, and with our crazy travel day that we just mentioned, we didn't get to the hotel that we were going to till like 12:30 at night or something. And it's a small town where we were, and so whenever we got there, we were all hungry. We hadn't, like you said, we hadn't really had any food. And so we were looking on DoorDash to try to bring us something to the hotel, and there wasn't much open. So it's Taco Bell. And this Taco Bell did the craziest thing ever. They're about to close whenever we ordered. And so instead of making all of our orders that we actually ordered, they just made a bunch of like hard shell tacos with steak in it. No cheese, lettuce, nothing. Just a hard shell taco and steak. And no one ordered this, but they're just like, we're not going to make what they want. We're just going to send them this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. It was like our monitor guy he ordered 6 crunchy tacos, and they sent 4 soft tacos, and then these 2 steak-filled shells. And like nothing, they just were creating shit, Yeah.
So I mean, that would be a bad first experience of fajita. That'd be worse than Chili's.
You're right. Yeah. Chili's are good. I mean, it's just Chili's is the go-to, I mean, still to this day, like if we're on the road and like, it's like, we want to get something that like, is, we know what it is. That's a good spot to go.
On this last baseball tournament we just went to a couple of weeks ago, one of the days everyone went to Chili's in between games, because we had like 4 hours to kill and we needed some AC. And a couple of the other families are like, I haven't been to Chili's for 15 years or something. And I'm like, we go all the time. Like whenever you're traveling, it's at a lot of airports or it's on a lot of the highways, and you know what it's going to be.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, people will ask all the time, like, what is it? You guys go to Chili's and when you're on? Why don't you go like experience local stuff? And you're just like, well, why would I do that? Because I don't want diarrhea. Like you know what you're gonna get.
I mean, we do like the local places. I would prefer the local place, but whenever you're traveling and you're living in a tour bus or on airplanes or sometimes it's just easy to go to Chili's and not gamble on, hey, is this the local spot to go try or not?
Yeah, I wasn't downing local establishments, but you do have to consider your stomach, you know, and that's what I'm doing. I'm considering my stomach. Yeah.
Well, like I said, living on a tour bus, I was kind of hinting at that.
Yeah.
You don't have just the conveniences of your own restroom while you're going down the highway on a tour bus.
Yeah, like we like Indian food, we just can't have it on the tour bus, or like we can't eat it and then go on the tour bus because you sweat that stuff out. Then there's farting, and you you can't. It just.
To be fair, there's going to be farting no matter what with 12 dudes on a tour bus, but some things make farting worse than others.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, you know what? Hey, let's take a break and get back here and talk to Nate Young from the band Anne Berlin.
Once we started talking about farting, let's move on to Nate.
Yes, I have to fucking get something to eat. I haven't eaten today. So, hey, listen, thanks again, everybody. New episodes coming all month. Make sure you click that subscribe button. We're happy you guys are here. And we will be right back with Nate Young. Y'all listen to this. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. And as promised, an amazing guest. Nate Young from the band Anne Berlin is with us. Nate, how you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm doing well. Very well. Down here in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, so Tampa, Florida, born and raised, right?
Born and raised.
Yeah, so our buddies, the Dolly Rots, live there.
Okay. Yeah.
So I get to visit there quite often, and I like that place, Whiskey Joe's, right there.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome.
You know that spot?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I pretty much know every Tampa spot at this point.
Yeah. So, dude, you're coming to us in your minivan outside your house because it's literally the only escape. It's so fitting for the show.
It is. I literally thought about it. I was like, man, it's kind of a bummer, and I was like a cool room to go into, and I was like, I mean, for what this is, I was like, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
it's very fitting.
On the other side of, like, I've done the thing to taking calls out in the car because it's the only place you can get quiet whenever my kids are younger. But also, there's hours that I've spent driving into the house and like a kid's asleep in the back seat.
100%.
And so you just hang out in the driveway.
Yeah, that's the move. Wherever they're most comfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you get a kid that falls asleep, that's just where
don't mess with it.
That's where
100%. Yeah, you don't wake up a sleeping kid. Everyone knows that. I mean, unless it's the classic, you're driving home.
Yeah.
And they skip nap, and then they start dozing at like 7 p.m. You're like, I find everything I can to throw at them. I'm like, wake up.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Now, before we get into fatherhood, congratulations on the new single.
Thank you,
dude. I love the song.
Thank you.
Walk Alone, is that right?
That's it. Yeah.
I love it. It's so good.
Thank you.
And I mean, as you guys, obviously, your journey is vast. There's been a lot of changes in your band, and I don't just mean members. I mean, like, you've done the label dance. I mean, so I'm curious because labels have an interesting place in the world these days, and I'm just. Yes, I think you guys started on Tooth and Nail. You sort of you ping ponged around a smidge, and are you guys still on Universal?
No, so we're with Equal Vision now.
Okay, I'm sorry, Republic. You guys were with Republic.
We were with Republic, yeah. After Tooth and Nail, we went to Republic, and then we pretty much we kind of ended on Republic. Our last album when we broke up in 2014, we put it back out on Tooth and Nail. As like full circle. We were just like, let's just end where we kind of started, which was cool. And Brandon's a good friend of ours. So he was like super down. So, And then, yeah, since we got back together, now we're with Equal Vision. So, yeah, 3 labels total, which is, that is a good amount, I guess, for, a band. But when we've been as around as long as we have, it doesn't seem as wild to me. But, I mean, still 3 is a good amount for sure.
Well, there are 3 really good labels, though. I mean,
For sure. Very lucky.
It seems like you've had pretty good partners along the way, and then so I remember you guys from Warped Tour. I believe we did Warped Tour together in 07.
Yeah.
And man, it's the best of the worst days ever, right?
It is 100%. It's so funny because for us, we wanted to be on Warped Tour so bad. When you're like younger and you're like, that's like, you remember hearing the stories of them breaking bands. Like you just gotta do Warped Tour if you're in the scene even a little bit. And so you build it up in your mind, and then when you finally get to do it, you're like, holy shit, this is way different. Like on all the levels of like exhaustion and when you're in a van and those drives and the heat and the crazy. But then now on this side, you look back, you're like, oh, those are fun times.
Yeah,
I think
you like have memories of them. It's like you have all these different thoughts of Warped Tour.
Doing so many Warped Tours, I feel like we have 2 different stories. We tell a bunch of the stories a lot of the times, but it's either, man, I sure do miss that, or man, I sure don't miss that.
100%. Yeah, I think for me, if I had to, I have moments, but I remember, I mean, when we only did the full tour once, and at the end, you're so beat. I mean, I don't think I missed that. Like my most vivid memories are maybe the ones where I'm like, that was brutal. Like it's just the same thing every day. I mean, I know that's tour to some extent, but that was like the catering and just all of it, like in another parking lot, and you're just like, oh my God, you play at 10 a.m. or whatever it is, and then randomly you play nighttime the next time. So it was a lot to sort out for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I going on that, you remember 2 things, right? How brutal how tired you were, but also how freaking good was your band at the end of that.
For sure.
I mean, sure. You are by the time you finish that summer, you are lethal.
Right. Yeah, 100%. You're when you play that much, it's like the greatest practice, just constant. So yeah.
Yeah,
you are either dial
in the zone. Now, right now, are you guys currently on the tour with Hawthorne Heights? Or are you doing some shows? What's going on with that thing right now?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of this is again perfect for this. So Amberlynn is on the whole thing. And we knew, when the last few years, we could dive into it later, but like we weren't able to tour hardly at all, just because all the circumstances with singer couldn't do much. So we got offered this, and it's a very long tour. We knew the dates, and I was having a new kid. Yeah. So I knew what was coming. And our guitar player, Christian, was like, yo, we just won't do the first half or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's, as long as they're cool with that, let's do that. And then we started talking about it more. And he's like, dude, it's been so long since we've been doing stuff. It'd be good for us to like get back out there. And he was like, yo, what do you think about your brother-in-law filling in drums for you? Because my little brother-in-law is a ripping drummer. He plays for the band Word Alive, so he's super good. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, I'm fine with it if y'all are cool with it, like just to like have our, so we're not doing half, we're doing the full tour. So it just worked. I like hit him up, and he's like, dude, I'd love to. Word Alive's not touring right now, like taking a break. And so it just lined up perfectly. So Amberlynn is on it, but I'm home.
But you're home.
So it's funny, it's a weird, like you said, we've had so many different, parts of our band, and it's just another one of them. So actually we're playing Clearwater tomorrow, and I'm going to go play that show.
Right.
So it's only like 20 minutes for me. And then, it's tough. You have a brand new kid, and, it was your third one. So it's like, couldn't really, peace out on the wife like that and kind of leave her.
Well, I've got a very similar story. Whenever my second child, my daughter, was born, we were going to do Warped Tour that summer, and leading up to it, all the dates that we were going to be doing were around her due date. It was all close to home. It was all like a 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive, and I'm like, I can do this, and if something happens, I'll just drive home.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it was like 2 weeks before we left, and I was like, wait a second, if something happens at 3 a.m, I can't just go get on an airplane or rent a car. And I was like, guys, I don't think I can do this. And we had Rob from our band. He wasn't in our band yet. He actually came and played drums.
Oh,
But
nice.
we all live around here, so whenever the bus was like loading up to go on that run, I went and hung out and watched the bus leave, and that was a weird feeling seeing the bus leave without me on it.
Dude, it's so funny. I just experienced this, this same thing where it's like, it is weird. We've been a band for, 20 something years, and it's like, this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. And so we rehearsed in Tampa or St. Pete, which is 30 minutes from us. And they rehearsed like, my kid was only like a week and a half, 2 weeks old. But I was like, I got to at least go for a second and just, experience. And they were loading up the bus and packing. I was like, this is so weird. I was like, and then I like made sure that I'm on all the group texts. I was like, yo, just keep me in. I just want to be involved. So I'm getting like, front lounges out of this or whatever. And I'm just like at home, but I don't want to leave it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, but yeah, it's a unique thing to kind of be in this spot. But I'm really thankful for it. The fact that we are able to do this kind of stuff and have it work out is pretty awesome for sure. So
and what an awesome thing that your band supportive of you and being like, yeah, stay home. That's important.
they were they were definitely like, like I said, Christian, you got 9 months to know this is coming. So it wasn't like dude, what are we going to do? It was like, we knew, but they were like, hey, we got this idea. And we're kind of in this new era of our band, just be like, let's do whatever the hell we want. Like, I think back in the day we would be like, no, like it's not the same, but we're just like, let's just do it. Like,
yeah, you get to that point, right? You just sort of, you're a family, and your family is growing. You're having a baby, and it's like we do what we can to keep it going.
And we're all in that spot for the most part. We all have kids and we're all families. So like, I think we, you realize what's really important and that is cool. Like you said earlier, that having the band dude just be like, dude, of course. Like, no one was like, I don't know, man. Or like, we'll give you 2 weeks. Like everyone's just like, dude, like take your time and, we'll be out here doing our thing. And so it also is cool that he's my brother-in-law. So like his nephew was just born. So it's cool for him to be like, I'm out here for my, my nephew and my brother-in-law. So it's cool. It worked out. I'm very, very thankful for sure.
Yeah. So you're, so 3 kids. So tell us names and ages.
Yeah. So my oldest, her name's Rowan. She's 6.5. Then I have a middle daughter. Her name's Luca. So she's 2. So my newest kid is a boy. His name's Wesley. So their birthdays, Luca and Wesley's, are the exact same day, 2 years apart. So that just happened, and they're both 2 weeks early. So it was like the craziest. We went in. I was like, oh, maybe it'll be the next day, but it was like same day. So,
wow.
So yeah, I got 3. Yeah, so I'm in it. Just started over, 6.5 and fresh.
So you tell Luca she got a baby brother for her birthday?
Yeah, well, she can tell that she's pregnant for a bit. But, I mean, we did. It was a weird one though. It's like the first gap about 4.5 years or whatever, 4 years, and so the 2-year gap. I know that's what most people do, but it's gnarly.
Yeah, no, it's I was always
close.
Like, yeah, I never wanted to have 2 in diapers. That was the thing. Like,
yeah, it's challenging.
But Wesley was born when? Just a couple of weeks ago?
May 31st, yeah.
Man, dude, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'm in it.
So you got a boy. Are you guys done now? Is this it?
We're done.
Yeah.
For sure. We were thinking about being done even after the second one. And then it was like, because I had 2 girls and we didn't really care. I was like, whatever. And then we just didn't decide one way or the other. And then it was like, oh shit, we're having a kid. And I was just like, no way it's a boy. You just are like, I'm only you. I got 2 girls. So I'm like, it's probably going to be all my brothers too. Random side fact. So I have 2 older brothers. We all had girls, all of us. And if any of us, I mean, at this day, one of our daughters could take our last name. But if I didn't have a boy, our last name was like over.
Yeah.
So we were like, my dad was like, come on, like one more. So yeah, so it's crazy. So we, having the third be a boy was an exciting thing for sure.
It's a different thing, man.
Yeah.
It's I had a girl first and Gary had a girl second, and being a girl dad is just different. And I mean, I know you're only a few weeks in or whatever, but we talk about this on the show all the time. It's just like, your girls, it's daddy's girl, and just everything is just, oh, what? And Wesley is going to be running through the yard in about 3 years, and you're going to have a ball, and you're going to want to just take his feet out from under him. And you can't explain why. You're just going to want to just peg this
clip him.
Yeah. You just want to just just
It's true. It's true.
it just
That's so funny. It's like, well, God, it's so like you said, like having a girl first, like being like, I just was like, I'm a girl dad. I just in my brain, it's like all I know. Even I really wanted the second one to be a girl too. So when we had two girls, I was like sick. Like I just, it's just their bond, the whole vibe. But like even early already, like it doesn't feel that different now because when they're this small, they're this small.
yeah.
But there is that thing where I'm like, oh, it is different. And there is that, I've heard all that stuff, like where everyone's just like, dude, there's something different when he gets old enough, you're just going to want to be so rough. And like, it's just funny how that works. But
Yeah. Totally. Well, and it's a completely different thing too. It's like when they fall off the stairs, and plus,
yeah,
plus him,
like,
being
all right,
the
dog,
third
get up.
kid, yeah, him being the third kid too. Like that kid is going to be tough, dude.
For sure. And our middle, Luca, God, I love her to death. She is so wild. I
Yeah.
mean, just like she's got crazy curly hair too, like insanely curly. And so like it adds to it. She runs around and just like bounces, but she just like night and day difference from from our oldest. And like I was nervous about her with Wesley because I was like, just if she's gonna be jealous. She's not that gentle, but with him, she's like so chill, so gentle, like not it's been a very nice surprise for sure. But I think as they get older, I just think it's gonna be wild. Especially them sharing a birthday.
Yeah.
There'll be some kind of bond and either a great bond or like a very not great bond. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, it's cool.
Now you're also, I mean, besides the band, you're an entrepreneur as well. You have a restaurant, is that right?
Mhm. I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And how long is that? How long have you had that?
we're about to have in 2-3 weeks. We're having our 5-year anniversary. So
So this is obviously, Gary probably knows where I'm heading with this because you're in the band business and the restaurant business, and you have a toddler at the time, and COVID happens. I can't imagine your life. And
it was that was wild. That was a very, very wild time, especially because Amberlin broke up in 2014. No plans of ever doing anything again. And then we were like in 2019 or 2018. We started talk. We were like, yo, like, time heals stuff. And we're like, whatever, let's just do it again. And like, classic what most fans do. But we had a plan to do like a big tour in 2019 and then a big tour in 2020 and summer of 2020 and maybe just be done or whatever, just go on hiatus because I had opened up the restaurant. And then when 2020 hit, it was like all bets were off. Obviously we didn't do that the summer tour. Then it was like, we're still a band, should like, what do we do? We never thought about writing new music again because we were like, let's just not do that. We're like, let's just not force anything. Let's do a few tours and have fun, maybe just chill out for a bit. But then it was like, then I was figuring out stuff on the restaurant. I was like, what do we do? So yeah, it was a lot. It was definitely like the balance and to keep the band going, we started doing these live streams, which we like had to find a place to let us do it. And, would they allow us and how many people were allowed in? And so it was a lot to balance, but like, it's crazy. It feels like a lifetime ago. And it also feels like yesterday. So it's weird. But I mean, I guess, 4 years ago is a good amount of time, but yeah, even just seeing how much has changed in 4 years is incredible. Being here, I'm like, wow. So
yeah, I mean, congratulations. I mean, the statistics are so hard for restaurants, and for the
thank you.
fact that you've made it 5 years. I mean, I hope that your employees know like what a big deal that is, because making it 4 years for a small business, and let alone a restaurant, is like it's a miracle.
Yeah, honestly, and I appreciate that. And we were just talking about that, and it has not been without insane amounts of challenges. You know what I mean? It's like, I think in a lot of ways, like without being like, oh, we pushed through and where other businesses would have closed, like we did have this thing where like, let's just keep pushing, whether that was good or bad. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I look back, I'm like, damn, maybe we should have just like, because it's so much. It's like, and it is a lot. And I say that so thankfully, be like, yeah, celebrating 5 years is like, I never thought, when you open a new business, the dream is forever. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, even a couple years, this is sick. I'll be really thankful for it. So
I'm sure whenever you're starting, you're going to have to zig or zag one way or another, right? The plan never actually truly works out. But is there like a move that you made whenever COVID started happening that you're like, man, that was a good move that really got us through?
For sure. We have a great team. Like at the time, it's changed a lot just through life stuff. Like my little sister was our chef and my brother-in-law was my partner. And so we just had like a really good group. But like we quickly, between all of us, we all just started thinking really well and together like as a team. But like we did the PPP loan, I would say maybe first out of everyone I knew. Like Tim, my business partner, or my brother-in-law business partner, he told me about it. He's like, dude, I read about this loan. We're going to apply for it. And so he was on it because then it started like to run out. There are a lot of businesses that couldn't get it. So that was a good thing. And then on the creative side, we had to close our doors, obviously. And being like focused on like coffee and beer sales and food sales, we were like, what are we going to do? So someone that worked with us, our head brewer, he used to make us these like pizzas all the time with like a backyard pizza oven, like an uni, like a wood fire, but it's propane. And he was like, we should turn into like pizza to go, like pull up, we'll bring you pizza. And he's like, that could be cool. Like, let's just keep it going. Like, maybe we'll see if that can like bring you money. So the first night we're like, let's do like, 30 pizzas. Cause it'll probably sell out through the night. That'd be sick. We're not a pizza place. And we like set it up online, and it was like in the best way and the worst way. Is a disaster. It sold out in like 20 seconds because at the time everyone was so adamant about supporting business and everyone was excited. So we did it on Friday. We're like Pizza Friday. So we limped through that one. I mean, it was bad. Like we had so many logistics, but that truly kept us going. Like it turned into like Friday, we'd be like, yo, going live at 5, and we would start doing like 200, 300 pizzas, and they'd sell out in like 5 minutes. And we'd started like like staggering it, like here's your pickup time. And we built the back end around it. And so that really did like keep the lights on. I mean, between us just hustling and doing as much as we could, like it really was like, and that was cool to look back on and be like, that was so unique and random that we thought of that, because it was hypey feeling, it's like we've never done pizza. So it was this cool mix of stuff. But I equate those two things, the PPP loan and then just pivoting quick to being like, let's do something that's exciting. Because trying to just be like, please come buy coffee or whatever, that was good. But these nights were like, shot us into like, all right, we can pay for our mortgage, pay for everything we needed to with just these like Pizza Fridays. So yeah, honestly, the ones that really got creative are the ones that I think stuck around the longest. Of like, like it was tough to know what the right move was, though, for sure. Some people wanted to open up quickly. Some people stayed closed way longer than they needed to, but that was good for them because so really it was just we built a good group of people doing the same thing, and we all communicated a lot as well. Just what worked for us, what worked for them, and it was like a good group of people. So
A bunch of different restaurants working together, sort of helping one another.
exactly what it was, which is cool.
Did you grow up in a restaurant or working in a restaurant? What made you go, hey, let's open up a restaurant?
Touring. I mean, I'm born and raised in Tampa. So for me, I started touring when I was 14 years old, and I never really stopped. I would come home. I just lived with my parents, and I still lived in Tampa, but I was gone so much. But then when I come home, I'd be like, nothing's cool here. It would drive me crazy. I'd be like, you're just in wherever, New York, obviously, but it's like Atlanta. And we would travel to Australia a bunch. And, I got really into coffee. That was the start of it. So King State is the name of the place. And it started as coffee. I was like, let's do coffee. And then it like progressed into like, we should do beer and wine. And then let's do some food stuff. So it kind of progressed to that. But I started roasting coffee first out of my brother-in-law's garage. And so it was traveling. I would just go to different cities and be like, this is awesome. I don't like that. I just started picking up on it. The industry was so cool to me because it was like some of my favorite memories on tour were in places. You know what I mean? We'd go to a sick bar, and those memories stick out the most in my brain. Or like, let's go early coffee and grab the breakfast was amazing. And then friends showed up and we stayed there all day. And so that was kind of what spawned it. I didn't work any place in a restaurant. And it's like, once the band ended, Tim and I went to Portland for like a quick, like very on hands, like week and a half training for like business and for like restaurant and coffee and that thing. So we got like a condensed quick understanding of it all, and then kind of built our own thing around it and surrounded ourselves with really good people that were from that industry. But yeah, I mean, I toured my whole life, so I wasn't able to have another job anywhere else. But I think it's what's good about us and bad about us. It's like we made a bunch of dumb mistakes early on, not being from the industry, right? You know what I mean? People are like, why the hell are you doing that? It's like, well, we don't know. We're not from
Yeah.
this industry. So
It's the same thing as being a band when you're 14, though, right? Like you go
100%.
out there, you do everything wrong.
Fully.
You don't know. I mean, I remember starting to tour and not even really realizing that I could ask for things like,
Yeah.
can we get a case of water? Like I had no idea you could do that,
They're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I remember we got our first tour manager, and he would get towels for us for stage to wipe the sweat off, and I was just like, wait a minute, we can do that? That's a thing, but it's just
Oh,
that's
you're young, yeah, for sure.
you just learn as you go in that, and I'm
100%.
sure the restaurant is no different as far as
Yeah,
that.
trial and error and just what works, what doesn't, and people. I mean, that's the thing that I loved about it is like the people too. So that's the big, surround yourself with people that have want to push and grow and be there and push back on stuff. Like I hate the yes man thing. It's like let people thrive where they want to be, and so that was kind of our whole approach for sure. So
Yeah. So fatherhood is going great, but you're right in the trenches.
yeah,
So you got one starting kindergarten or first grade next year?
first grade.
First grade. Wow. And so that's at least, free daycare,
Yeah,
for you get at least
100%.
one of them out of the house,
Well, she did kindergarten last year and actually, and then she did pre-K too, and it was before we had our second. The pre-K was unique for sure. It was like, what do we do? Like I would go work with him. My wife's like, all right, like, so it's like quiet and like even if it's a few hours, it's different. But yeah, so now she's all the way to first grade, and the second one, I think we're just gonna chill for a bit and kind of let her be around. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's always changing.
you're I mean with the coffee house and the rest of the, with your place, do you pretty much like try to keep just kind of normal work hours? You go to work in the morning and come home at night, or is it sporadic?
No, still doing touring stuff, band stuff. And we expanded. We've had some stuff not work out, just again, part of the restaurant industry, but like we expanded. We had like a spot in St. Pete that opened. So I kind of pulled away from pulling shifts. Like, not that I'm like above it. We were trying to do more. So we was like, let's do this and let's do this and let's kind of like, so I run all the branding side of it as well. And the like, all social media and like the growth side of it. And so I couldn't do as many shifts as I did when we first started.
Mhm.
So we're kind of back to our roots. We have one space now, which is great. We have the roasting side and we have a beer side. So I'm doing like a handful, but I'm not at the place like day to day as much as I was for sure. So
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's nice though. So you're
it is.
you're getting to work. I assume you're working from home then. So
Yeah, well, from home or like meetings, like it's my days are like so random, to be honest. It'll just be like sometimes it's band stuff. It's like, it's like I gotta go do this and or we're recording and we're writing and then I'll go do that and I'll come home and then have meetings about the restaurant side, and then we have an event, so I'll be at the event and I'll post about the event and do so. My days it's almost impossible. Like I schedule as much as I can, but it's not consistent or like this is what I'm doing every day, and to be honest, in 2020, not that I miss that era, but it was so simple. It was like, this is what we're doing. I work these days. We just try. Like, you drive. There's no traffic. You know what I mean?
totally.
You show up. It's like you be around your friends, and we all kind of, we safe. And we all had to do stuff. But like that was the most consistent my life's been in forever. And now it's back to the other way. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think all of us had to try to figure
find
something out.
some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
for sure.
So with Anne Berlin, new song out. I assume that means new album. Is that out now?
So that comes out beginning of August. And so this is another thing that kind of like when we started writing again, our whole idea from the beginning was like, let's do 2 EPs and release them separately, and then let's put them together as one album and release some new songs. But this was supposed to be done a while ago, but with our singer taking a break, it kind of pushed things back. And then so these 2 new songs that we've added are the ones with Maddie singing, our new singer currently. So we it's not a full new album. It's 2 EPs that we changed the track listing, new art, remastered. Like that was always the plan. It just took us way longer than we thought. So a little
Right.
bit of like, I understand like the bummer from fans, you know what I mean? Like new album, it's like kind of, so but
Yeah.
that was our from day one our idea, because we wanted it to be this like cool pods of like those moments, and then we put it when we thought about them together while we were writing, is like how do these flow together. And so but yeah, I mean, currently we're writing for another actual album, so we got like 4 or 5 done that we're working on now. So
So new album with Maddie singing. Is that the
yeah,
plan?
that's the goal. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff has changed so much. It's like we're all over the place. Like, but it's kind of like I said earlier, it's kind of fun. I understand fans want like, and everyone wants very like routine consistency, but like in a way, we are just like it's making it more exciting and more like let things like free flow, where it's like, Steven's still doing his other stuff. And the original plan was to be like, all right, he's not out of the band. He's definitely not. He didn't quit. He didn't get fired. This was his idea. Maddie was his idea. Everything. So where we're at is like, was the plan. But as far as like, Steven's going to be on all of the recording stuff, we started writing with Maddie because we wanted Maddie to be on song. And it was like, so sick and so much fun. Not that it's not with Steven, but Steven's also busy. So Maddie's just lives, breathes, and sleeps this. So it's like we would just start riffing and going, and then he's like, dude, try this, and he'd send a song and it'd be finished, and then we like work on another one. So there's still a little bit of unknown. Is it a full album with Maddie? Is it an EP with Maddie? And then Steven's on half. And like again, it's kind of like a little bit up in the air. And to me, in a cool way, not
Yeah.
in like they can't make up their minds. We're just kind of like, yo, we played by the rules for so long as a band. Like, put out a full length. It's got to be this amount of songs. You're on this label. You tour this amount this year. That's the end of it. And I think 2020 did change our brains, because we're like, let's do weird streams and do this and this. So now we're just like extending that thought process of like, let's do whatever the fuck we want. And hopefully fans are into it. And if not, it's like, all right, like at least we can just do something and have it be fun and not feel like we're stuck into something, So.
Yeah, but you're right about the fans. I mean, they want to know, is Steven the singer or is Maddie the singer? Like what is happening?
I know it's like, and without like, it's not that I love the drama, but I do love a little bit to be like, I don't know. Like, so currently on this tour, this was actually, I think it was Maddie's idea originally, or it started with, but on the tour that they're on now, our backdrop is like our classic font we've used. It says Amberlin with a question mark. Because like Maddie's out, my little brother-in-law's playing drums. Like it's like, is it Amberland? Like, but we like make we're like kind of leaning into it, and it's like I understand fans like really want to know, but to me, this idea and cool of like, let's just put out a song and just listen to it, and then people are like, oh, it shouldn't be called Amberland. You should have changed your name. And it's like, well, Steven I think will come back at some point. It just depends on when. And so for now, I like the idea of leaning all the way in with Maddie, because it's just a different era of our band. It's like, it's not one for one Blink-182 by any means, with like Tom left and he's back and they were not the same without him. Like, I get all that stuff, but like bands have done similar stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we might gain new fans at this moment that weren't fans of Amberlin before, like, whoa, this is cool. And so I just like that it's fun and different. It's just exciting, because before, with Steven not being on the tour, we were not doing anything, and that was a bummer. Not that we all want to tour 10 months out of the year again. We just felt stagnant, so now it's exciting again to just be like, we're out here doing whatever. So
I think earlier you were saying, this was the plan, that was a plan, whatever. And it's always good to have a plan, right? Have a plan and know the direction that you're going is good. But 100%. Like trying to stick to the plan when things aren't making you stick to the plan and trying to force it, that never comes off good. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and go where it takes you.
Fully. And that's kind of more my thing. It's like, the plan was Maddie. He's going to do these songs. We're going to tour together. But as far as like, and that is the plan. And then outside of that, we're kind of like, because I think that if we were trying to force something else, it would just feel forced, and we'd be like, I don't know. So we're again, I don't want to like string fans along and be like, we don't know, like follow along to find out. I know that's annoying too, so that's not our goal either. We're just actively trying to figure out what we, you know what I mean. We have the plan, and it's like outside of that, let's figure it out.
That's the thing, though, is if you don't know, you can't say. I mean, we're actually going through something a little bit similar right now.
Yeah.
Our guitar player is having some medical stuff, and it's ongoing, and he can't, and he's missing shows, and everybody's like, what's wrong, and when's he coming back? And it's like, A, he wants his privacy, and second,
of course,
don't have the answer to your question. I mean, and
just come see. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing, is like everyone needs to know beforehand, but I'm like, we're playing all the other songs, and also like we also have 8 albums of our band, right? Like, if you don't like it, that's also fine. But in my brain, I'm like, don't, like, I know it's different, but like, don't you want, like, I'm not naive enough to think like everyone should love it. Like, if you're an Amberlin fan, you better love it. I get it, right? It's a completely different, it's a new thing. You go and it's a different guitar player. He's not there. It's like, it's not the same, but it's like, just come hang and have a good time. I think that's been my biggest thing. It's like, it's just, we're having fun. And I think the people that see us having fun really love it, which is what I really cared about. What we all cared about is like,
and that's what we care about. Yeah.
Yeah. Our deep rooted fans are pumped out of their minds. The fans you've had forever that you're almost friends with at this point, them. Like, not one of them has been like, we're disappointed, I can't believe it. Like, and again, we've been very clear about this. This was not our idea. We did not force Steven to do this. This was his idea. So when people talk to us kind of like aggressive about it, I'm like, the alternative is we just break up again forever, which I was not okay with, but like, things run its course. So when this first got brought up, I was like, yeah, it's all good. Like, again, we had a sick run. Like, let's just not do it. But then Steven was like, I think you should do it with Maddie. And I didn't even know Maddie. I was like, I'll meet him and see and now we're super close, and I love the dude to death, and we're having a great time. But I think the fans remember that it was Steven and we are just trying to have fun. They're extra pumped because they're like, this is cool. What's the alternative? No new music and it's all over forever.
Yeah.
Or the thought of Steven ever coming back wouldn't be there if we just broke up. So this excitement of like, what if Steven comes back in a year, or we get another album with Steven, it's completely different and they write a different style, so this just leaves the conversation moves forward because we said yes, but I know what the answer to no is. And if we just said no, we wouldn't be even having this conversation. So we're just more into saying yes to stuff.
So Anberlin on the road right now, and gosh, there's so many bands on that thing. I know that not everybody's playing every night, but
correct,
but
it's a lot. I mean, it's like it's a ton. And at one point there is more on at once, and then kind of like some drop off. But the whole tour is like us, Hawthorne Heights, Emory, Armor for Sleep, and then Samson's out, and Thursday's out, and Icy Stars, and This Wildlife, and I think there's another one. There's a lot.
Yeah,
too much to keep up with.
Well, Nate, you are certainly a rockstar dad, dude. Thanks for spending some time in your minivan with us today, and congratulations on the new.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the new song. My God, so much is happening.
Yeah, lot to do.
Where can people find you? And man, feel free to pimp the coffee. Where you want to send people?
Yeah, I mean, the coffee restaurant side is King State, so it's just king-state.com, or if you search like King State Tampa, you can find it. I don't really push my personal Instagram because I don't really care. I'm just like, hey, I'm like, whatever. If you find me, you find me. But yeah, and then Amberlin, obviously, new single. We got another single coming out beginning of August, so that'll be really soon.
We love the new song.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And you can definitely see that Maddie's excited about it too. And so congrats.
Which is exciting for us too,
yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah, man.
It's like the energy. We're just like pumped. He again, like another cool part of it is like I think we posted the photo. He's like a photo of him sophomore in high school, and he's like wearing an Amberlin shirt. So it's like he's just psyching. He's like, dude, I can't believe I'm here. So that energy's fun for us, and so it's a cool thing to be where we're at. So
y'all go check his Instagram, Maddie, and I think it's on the Anberlin one too. But he does a video where he shows the photo of him And the
Yeah.
and he
It
plays,
is on there. That's right. He posted that the day we put out that song.
and
yeah,
it's just it's awesome, and you can just
Yeah.
see how happy he is. And
for sure.
dude, well,
For sure.
anyway, come back, check back in with us sometime, man,
I
and
will for sure.
talk more parenting stuff. And
I would love to.
we'll see you on the road. And
Oh yeah.
y'all go check out all that shit, and we'll see y'all next time. Y'all be good.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know, some rockstar dads who started a show. Until the next episode.